Old Mexico. The Sonoran Desert extends from southern Arizona into northern Mexico. A seemingly desolate landscape of stony mountains, burnt grass plains, and scrub brush. This remote region was marauded by Apaches and is the aboriginal home of Yaqui Indians. It is the habitat of a small whitetail subspecies called the Coues or cow's deer. These tiny southwestern whitetails were popularized in the writings of famed hunter Jack O'Connor, and it wasn't until late in the last century that hunters really began to pay attention to these mysterious little deer. Hunting them is unlike any other whitetail deer hunting, and Mexican wisdom holds that the successful Coues deer hunter must possess ojos de aguila, or the eyes of an eagle, in order to spot them in their native habitat. Join Loophole's Mike Slack and Hunting's Craig Boddington on their Coues deer quest on today's Peterson's Hunting Adventures. Hi, welcome to Peterson's Hunting Adventures Television. I'm Tom Gresham.
And I'm Craig Boddington.
Well, this week, Craig and Loophole's Mike Slack are going south of the border to Mexico in search of what many consider to be North America's most mysterious white-tailed deer, the cow's subspecies. A native of the mountainous Southwest, the cow's deer was originally made famous by legendary hunter and writer Jack O'Connor. Tell us about this hunt, Craig.
Well, Tom, it's been my pleasure to have hunted the cow's deer for years, and unlike other whitetail hunting that calls for still hunting or stand hunting tactics, the cows requires a spot and stalk hunt. Cow's deer hunting can become a true test of your physical condition and marksmanship. You've got to get up in those rugged hills to find them, and once you've spotted them, you're more than likely going to be faced with a long shot. This type of hunting calls for skillful use of high quality and high power optics and accurate rifles and cartridges. It's the most optics intensive hunt in North America.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Tell you what, let's take a look at this and we'll see what you're talking about.
Let's do it.
Northern Mexico's Sonoran Desert stretches across the states of Sonora and parts of Chihuahua. Our hunt will take place northeast of the town of Hermosillo in the rugged Sierra de San Antonio Mountains.
Kirk, I've been down here for a couple of years. This is great. Looks like we've drawn a good cool week, and this ought to be a good time. Where are you taking us this time?
The ranch that we're going to be on this time, Craig, is just south of the border about, it's probably 30 miles. It's a new ranch. We haven't been on it yet. We've got the guides in place, but I talked to them yesterday via the satellite phone, and they'd seen some nice bucks, but it was really windy. It was really windy yesterday, and you know how that goes with hunting these Coues deer. They're living in this desert, fair weather. That's what they're used to, so wind and rain make them hole up, but we're excited about getting down there and doing it. So.
And Mike, you haven't been down here before, have you?
I have not, and this is something that Kurt and I have been talking about for some time. We've had a group of folks that we wanted to bring down here, and we just haven't been able to put it together until now. So, and I'm excited. We've been talking about it for a long time, like I say, and so this hunt's been building up, a lot of anxiousness for me. Kurt, tell me about the rut. Are we going to be hunting during the rut down here?
We're going to be hunting the pre-rut. The normal rut starts about the 15th of December and runs into January. The bucks right now are bachelored up. It's actually my favorite time to hunt them because this big country, when you glass up these deer, they're bachelored up. They're feeding, till later in the morning, and they'll bed. And usually at that time, it gives us the time to get to them so that we can make the shot. If the rut's going on, a lot of times they're up, they're down, they're chasing does, they chasing little bucks off. It's hard to get a deer when you're looking at him from 1,500 yards. It's hard to get there to get a shot on him before he's up moving again during rut. So this is actually my favorite time. I usually the biggest bucks we kill every year are during that pre-rut.
How are you? How are you? Good to see you. How are you?
Mi esposa.
While the camp cook readies fresh salsa and other specialties, our guys unpack their gear and then share a quick meal so that they can head out to the shooting range to check their rifle zeros before the morning hunt.
Is that one of those little Kimber Montanas? No, I don't need no stinking permit. I got it.
Okay. El General. Well, now that you're retired, I guess I don't have to put them little flags out on the...
Well, it would still be appropriate.
Our hunters head out to the range to check their zero. This is especially important on a hunt for Coues deer, where 9 times out of 10, you'll have to take a shot beyond 300 yards.
Well, guys, I filled out all the paperwork on these rifles, but I've forgotten exactly what you're bringing. Tell me what you're using.
Well, even though we talk about the rifle and the cartridge a lot, with this kind of shooting, I think the scope is every bit as important. But Mike, you've got something brand new. Tell us about that.
I've got, I think, the only one out and about right now. This is our new VXL rifle scope. This one happens to be in 3.5 to 10 with a 1-inch tube. The idea here is that you can get a 50 millimeter scope and mount it like a 36 millimeter, so you can see how it's scooped out there.
Greg, it looks like it's exactly 2 inches dead center high of the bullseye.
It looks pretty good to me.
You're about 2.5 inches dead center high. I think you're right where you want to be.
It's just methodical. Lance, kind of like mule deer hunting, really.
Very much so.
More so mule deer than the white tails that we're used to in Texas.
Oh yeah, no relation to that at all. It's like a mule deer hunt. It's purely an optics game.
Which is really appealing.
Yeah, it's fun. And we'll see deer. I'm sure we're going to see deer. And plenty of them. But you only need to see one good one. Oh, this is what we want. The sky's clear, wind's down.
Looks good. The moon is small, very small.
Oh yeah, just a little
there.
sliver of moon. It's real dark. Now these are fair weather deer. They may not get up for a while.
Yeah.
But we'll see them, and there should be. It's real cold. There should be good movement well into the morning. So it's going to be a matter of getting up on a ridge and getting comfortable and sitting down and finding these little things.
And so the search begins, covering every square inch of those arid hillsides, wishing hard that a Coues deer buck will pop into your view. You keep remembering the Mexican saying, ojos de águila, eyes of an eagle.
You see something in medium, the yellow grass, black, little black.
See?
And on left side, 2 Coues deer walking here down the encino.
Okay.
But those 2 deer are not the big bucks our hunters are searching for, and so the search begins again.
Basket rat. But his tines come way back over top.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the right yet, only the left. There. Straight ahead of us where you have that clean line of shadow.
Right.
Come to the right of the shadow.
Middle of the shadow.
Yeah. Go to you got the point of the shadow.
Once you've located deer on one of those far-off mountain slopes, the real work begins as you try to get closer. Often a whole lot easier said than done.
gotta go to that saddle. Oh my God. Running out of layers to strip off. Sure looks like a deer facing away from us. That may just be the trunk of a tree. On the edge of the...
Just on the right-hand edge of the cut,
Mm-hmm.
down toward the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rock.
Is that a rock? God dang.
Hey, Mike. More for your benefit. Craig, you've been through this with us a number of times, but just to kind of show you how this would work, like this buck that we've got bedded down here in this canyon, if we were going to move off down there and try to take that animal, the way we do this is spot, stalk, and snipe. We try to get in there as close as we possibly can to that deer, and we let them stand up, and then we try to harvest them. Most of your shots on these deer, I'm going to say probably an average of about 300 yards. And you can tell that by looking in this country of how huge it is, wide open. And this gravel that we have to walk on, you just hardly can, you cannot hardly walk through it without making a lot of noise. So you've got to keep a little bit of distance away from that deer, or they're going to know you're there. And that's the reason that we've been successful as we have, is because we've taught our hunters and helped our hunters to be able to take a shot that they most normally wouldn't.
Right. Well, I know in your literature there you talk about, doing a lot of good practicing with your rifle at long range, and I kept that in mind and did some considerable amount of shooting and put this bipod on the rifle too to
anything that you can use that'll help benefit you, shooting sticks, benched up on packs, anything like that will help you. But the key to killing this animal, the key to harvesting good trophy animals in the Coues deer is being able to shoot, because you just cannot, in this country, very rarely can you get up in those 150, 200 yard shots unless you happen to stumble into one and he doesn't know you're there, which is very, very rare. Mm-hmm. Most generally, if I get on a deer and I feel, I bounce my laser on that deer, if he's under 300 yards, I feel like I'm standing right on top of him, because I've done this for years. And when I get into that range, it's like a comfort zone for those deer. And so, boy, that's when everything starts creeping and going slow, because, you're in a situation where they can really booger out there. Now, what we try to do on these deer when they get up is we try to get that broadside shot. Mm-hmm. And you want to put that bullet in the vitals. They're a small animal. I mean, they'll weigh 100 pounds. But they are very, very tenacious for their size.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And if you make a poor shot on them, it's not a lot of fun, because you can see in this country, trying to follow one in this steep stuff is not the program that we want to do. So
we've had a little hike this morning too, getting up here. And
yeah, we did.
Spent about 45 minutes, an hour hiking up here, and then getting over here and finding that the deer we spotted down below, it's not anywhere close.
And this buck down here is not, anything that we would want to shoot. I mean, he's a nice deer, but he's not anything we'd shoot on the first day. So I think what we need to do is gather everything up and just kind of ease on back down and get in the truck and kind of maybe move around on the back side of this, where we can get the sun in a situation where we can glass into the shady areas, because these deer are bedded down now.
Rotten luck. But then, that's why they call it hunting. Our guys now have to climb down from the top of one ridge and hightail it off to another. Mike is beginning to realize that Coues deer hunting is not an easy pursuit. You've got to put your heart and soul into it, along with a lot of physical activity if you're going to be successful. Glassing constantly as they cover ground, our guys search the golden grass hillsides, hoping to finally spot a good buck that they can put the moves on.
I'd like to see us. Well, here, come here. 489. This is too high. This is sighted in for 300 yards. Cut some more distance off here, but we got.
Quietly and very, very carefully, Mike and Kirk close the gap between them and the buck.
Hombre. Okay, let's take the musk coming up. Musk coming up. Okay, let's try him. Okay, you're gonna try to get him a little closer. We can get up there. Oh, we just gotta be slow.
450, 400, 350. Each step brings them closer to a shot. Until finally they crest the hilltop and realize that they are now in range for Mike's potent .270 Winchester short mag.
Okay. Where the sun comes down and makes that jog right there.
Yeah.
There's one tree with the top of it in the sun. Yeah, a little bitty one. He's standing just below that. Go ahead and get set up on him. Okay, let me give you a range on him.
I'm 3 inches high, 100 yards.
He's 334. So you'd want to hold. You're 3 inches high at 100. You're
Two
going
and
to
a half.
2.5 inches high at 100.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Okay, well, hold right on.
Put that hat.
Go to his back line.
Put the hat. Yeah.
Dead deer. Dead deer. Heck of a shot, Mike. He rolled off that mountain.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's a great. Did you see the eye guard? Well, you probably couldn't in that scope, but through these binoculars, you can see them great big, huge eye guards. It's going to be
That's a
steep
fair piece
climb.
over there.
It's going to be a steep climb down and back.
Oh, fantastic.
Give me that gun. You get grab a hold of this deer. Let's look at him.
Beautiful buck, Mike.
Well done. Thank you. Thanks, Craig.
Isn't that a
Thanks,
pretty
Kurt.
buck? Oh, great
That's a
shot.
Eye guards.
He's
Yeah,
got
that's a-
tremendous eye guards. That's a nice
That
deer.
is. Look at that. Man, those are fantastic.
Yeah, that's a beautiful buck.
Well, that was a fun hunt. I tell you what, those desert mountains in Sonora are just gorgeous in the wintertime. And, you know, right up till the last minute of the last day, I thought I was going to see the kind of deer I was looking for, and it just never happened.
Well, yeah, and that's the way it happens. Mike gets his on the first day, and you hunt through the entire rest of the hunt and don't get yours. You know, it doesn't happen that way very often, but it's always a possibility.
Well, hunting's hunting, and, you know, especially something like this that you've hunted a lot, you're going to be a little picky, and sometimes it just isn't going to happen.
Well, that's absolutely the truth. Hey, thanks for joining us this week, and good hunting.
Asabo salatu